Good morning, Stone Mountain, kindergarten through third graders. Hopefully you all had a wonderful weekend and you are ready to be back at school this week. Halloween was amazing. It was so fun to see all of your costumes and how excited and happy you all were. It was a crazy week last week. We had a snow day. We left school early. We got to school late. We had Halloween. Hopefully this week will be much more calm. Okay, so this month we are going to move on to our next Energy Bus principle. And our next Energy Bus principle is drive with purpose. And it says that we are going to continue to work on setting goals. And I know that you guys are doing that in your classroom. We are going to continue to work on making sure that we are focused in our goals and making sure that when we are at school, we are focused on being the very best learner that we can be. And when I say learner, I mean our learners or our academic learning goals when we're reading and we're writing and we're doing math. But I also mean when we're learning how to be a good person too. And then our last one is persevere. This is a big vocabulary word for our kindergarten and first graders, but not for our second and third graders. So persevere means that we are going to continue to try when things get tough, okay? And so it says stay focused on your goals and persevere when faced with challenges. So we are going to watch 2 quick little video clips about a character named Mojo the Monster and his friend Katie. And they're going to talk about what it looks like when you need to persevere, when you need to keep working hard, when things get tough. So go ahead and watch these 2 video clips and then I will be right back.
Chapter 1. Mojo discovers a secret about his brain. A secret that will change the way he looks at the world forever. Our story begins with Mojo, a friendly monster who loved school, especially math. Until one day, when something terrible happened. The math problems got harder. Nothing made sense anymore. Mojo had a devastating thought. He just wasn't smart enough for school. It seemed the only reasonable thing to do was pack his things and leave forever. Just then, he heard his friend Katie laughing. "Mojo, you can't just give up," she said. "I have no choice, Katie," said Mojo. "You're either born smart or you're not. And I realize today that I'm not." "Mojo, that's not how it works," said Katie. "Anyone can be smart. You just have to work at it." "Psh, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard," said Mojo. "It's not ridiculous, it's science," said Katie. "Neuroscientists studied the brain for years and discovered an incredible secret, that your brain is like a muscle. When you try challenging things, like those hard math problems, you're giving your brain the exercise it needs to get stronger, which makes you smarter." "Ooh, is that really true?" said Mojo. "Of course," said Katie. "It's like how when you were a baby, you didn't know how to talk. But you kept trying, exercising your brain, until one day you could." "Mojo!" Mojo couldn't believe what he was hearing. If your brain was really like a muscle, did that mean anyone could become smarter? Even him? He turned to ask Katie, but just then, she had to be off to her next class. But maybe you can answer Mojo's question. What do you think? Can Mojo become smarter? What about you? Now that's an interesting question indeed. Chapter 2. Mojo bounces back. Mojo was walking down the hall when he came across a curious poster. Ooh, a robotics competition. Well, now that I know how to grow my brain like a muscle, I'll be unstoppable. He worked furiously. And after a few hours of hard work, he realized building a robot would be harder than he thought. But he trudged onward, making mistakes, then working hard, and then making even more mistakes. Finally, a terrible truth dawned on him. He would never build a great robot. A little while later, Katie stopped by. "Wow, sweet robot," said Katie. "But what's it doing in the trash?" "Ah, it's garbage," said Mojo. "I kept making mistakes, so I gave up." "Mistakes are no big deal," said Katie. "They can even make you smarter." "Ooh, so mistakes are good," said Mojo. "It depends how you handle them," said Katie. "See, neuroscientists have studied what happens in people's brains when they make mistakes. Some people give up when they make mistakes. They think mistakes mean they just aren't good at something, so they shut down and stop trying. But when you stop trying, your brain gets lazy. It doesn't get the exercise it needs to grow. But other people focus on learning from mistakes. They love seeing what they did wrong, so they can do it better next time. And that process of learning from mistakes makes your brain work extra hard to grow stronger." Mojo took another look at his robot. Maybe all those mistakes weren't such a bad thing after all. Maybe every mistake was just a step along the way to building something great. But what do you think? Could Mojo learn from his mistakes? What about you? Now that is an interesting question indeed.
Okay, hopefully you enjoyed watching those 2 video clips about Mojo the monster and his friend Katie. So that first video clip talked a lot about how our brain is a muscle and how we need to continue to work out our brain. Just like if you play sports and you work out your muscles to get better at sports, or when you play an instrument, you have to work out your muscles to play an instrument. And that muscle that you have to work out is most likely your brain with music, and it's most likely like your arm muscles here or your leg muscles when you're talking about sports. So we have to learn how to work out our brain when we come up to a problem that is a little bit more difficult or challenging than we normally encounter or normally have. So Mojo the monster had to learn how to work out his brain. So do you think Mojo the monster can become smarter if he continues to work out or exercise his brain? So sometimes we don't always want to do things that are super easy for us. I know that makes us confident and super proud of ourselves, but it's important for us to work out our brain and do things that are a little bit challenging. So in class, I hope that you are doing activities that are a little bit challenging for you so you can work out your brain. Excuse me. Okay, then we had a second video clip, and that one was all about how Mojo bounces back. So do you remember his robot competition? Yeah, he was so excited to be part of that robot competition, and he was creating his robot, and then he realized, this is hard work. And he made lots of mistakes when he was making his robot, and then he decided to throw it away. Oh my gosh. And then here comes Katie, and Katie was like, Mojo, it is okay that we make mistakes because that is how we learn. And Mojo said, nope, I can't do it. I'm making lots of mistakes. I'm throwing it away. So Mojo's brain wasn't really helping him in this situation, was it? It wasn't. He was telling himself that he can't do it. And he was telling himself that I've made so many mistakes. I'm just going to throw it away. I'm not smart enough and I can't do it. But here's the thing. Katie told him that Katie was being a really good friend. And she said, you know what? it is important that we all learn from our mistakes because we all make mistakes. Friends, I make so many mistakes a day. It's crazy. And guess what? I learn from every mistake I make. Your teachers make mistakes, and that's okay. Your parents make mistakes, and it's okay that you make mistakes. The most important thing is we learn from them. When we make mistakes, do we get frustrated? Absolutely. I get frustrated all of the time when I make mistakes. But I have to tell myself, you know what, Mrs. Frenchie? I am going to keep trying because I know that I can do it because I'm smart, because I'm doing hard things, so I'm growing my brain, so I keep on trying. So just like Mojo and Mojo bounced back, I want to challenge you all when things get tough and when you get frustrated, if it's in class or if it's on the playground or if it's at home, that you tell yourself, you know what? This is one of those times that I need to persevere. Remember that big vocabulary word that means just keep trying? I need to persevere, and I can tell myself that I can do this if I just keep trying, and I have grit. Grit is another vocabulary word about just keep trying and persevering. I know it's going to be tough, but if I keep trying, I can do it. I know that you all can keep trying and you all can have grit and you all can persevere through your challenges. Because I can tell you, when you were a baby and you were learning how to walk, you fell down millions of times. But do you know how to walk today? Absolutely you do. And that's because you kept trying. So, Stone Mountain Cubs, I expect you to keep trying and have grit and persevere through all of your challenges. Have a great week, Stone Mountain.